Crypto Warriors, it's Sergeant Crypto back at it again. Today is Wednesday, September 16th, 2020 on CoinGecko right now, and the market is trading sideways over the past 24 hours. I take that back. Bitcoin is trading sideways over the past 24 hours, over the past 7 days. Bitcoin have been slowly grinding back up, and that's a good thing. We want it to slowly grind back up to reach those ATH, those all-time new highs. Same thing for Ethereum. A slow grind back up. We're seeing it slowly get back up towards that $400 mark. XRP is XRP. Still, mid to low 20s. Polkadot's been on a tear kind of lately, up 20% over the past 7 days. And over the past 24 hours, we're seeing quite a pullback. Binance Chain, or Binance Coin, is up 16% over the past 7 days, kind of pulling back some, and so is Crypto.com. So the hype of both of these exchanges and their coins being involved in their own DeFi protocol is kind of waning. Litecoin is starting to see a little pump. I reported on Litecoin having their own video game yesterday, and everything else is pretty much in the red. We're seeing Tron take a big dump, and yeah, it's kind of crazy. But again, the hype over them having their own DeFi product is waning, and people are starting to get off that hype train. Crypto is pretty fickle. If you can't keep people engaged, all right, because everybody in crypto have a short attention span. This is why I try to rush through my videos, because I know everybody in crypto have a short attention span, and that's what the problem is. Short attention span, can't keep them engaged. They're going to take their money and flock to something else that's a little bit more shiny and prettier and newer at the moment. And Tezos pretty much trading down over the past 24 hours. All right, let's get into it. Coming from Decrypt, we have Gene Simmons gives Bitcoin a kiss. Gene Simmons, you know him from Kiss, the dude with a crazy tongue. I remember this guy giving me nightmares back when I was a young kid coming up. And I would see his pictures, and even on the lunch boxes, yeah, it kind of creeped me out. So yeah, Gene Simmons is giving Bitcoin a kiss, basically in some kind of Twitter thread with Cameron Winklevoss talking about maybe or maybe not getting into crypto, but he seems interested in it and in their exchange and maybe getting into crypto. That's what this article is about. He might be buying Bitcoin and crypto. Why is it a big deal? Because he's Gene Simmons, and a lot of people follow him. A lot of older people follow him and know who he is, and they might want to take a look at Bitcoin because he mentioned it or is in a Twitter thread about Bitcoin. Next, gold is dangerous. Speaking of an older crowd, why Jim Cramer will invest 1% of his net worth in Bitcoin. This is a big deal. Recently, Jim Cramer, the host of CNBC's Mad Money, you know it, right? Says he might invest 1% of his net worth in Bitcoin. The famed investor drew a comparison between Bitcoin and gold and cited the importance of hedging against inflation. We all know what's happening currently right now. The Federal Reserve is printing that money or currency like crazy, and smart money, smart people know that to protect yourself, you have to have real assets. During a podcast with Anthony Pompliano, Pomp is the man. He is an evangelist, and he's converting the mass. Cramer said he would take a shot at with 1%, talking about investing 1% of his net worth into Bitcoin, and that's all. Pretty much large investors or people that advise people on crypto and Bitcoin always talk about. Invest 1 to 5%, just a little bit, get a little taste, and that 1% may end up being, in the long run, 10% of your portfolio or 20% of your portfolio, depending on how Bitcoin performs. Most claimed that cryptocurrencies were Ponzi schemes and scams and unsustainable, but this narrative began to shift in early 2019 when the digital asset recovered from lows in the sub 4K range. And here it is a quote from Cramer. I mean, people talk about like crypto gets hacked or whatever. You know what's really bad? It's when your kid can't find your gold. So he's talking about an investment in gold, comparing it to an investment in gold. And that is, by the way, not unusual. So this is why I'm fixated on needing to own crypto, because I fear a massive amount of inflation and I don't have any. Gold will do okay. The houses will do okay. Right, talking about his real estate, and maybe he has a little actual holdings of gold. Those will keep me running in place. The idea of actually making money, well, holy cow, I'll take a shot at that with 1%. The idea of making money, because we all see that over the long run, Bitcoin has always increased in price. I even had this conversation, little tangent, going off on the side here. Please stick it out with me. Stick it out with me. I know I go off on little tangents, but stick it out with me. Hear me out. I had an insurance broker call me last night. My mom's insurance broker. Whatever happens, call me, save my number. But in the meantime, I like to sell you on this new insurance product. She's trying to sell me, right? So I already done my research. I'd like to take deep dive into things. I already know about something called infinite banking. Look it up. It might interest you. It doesn't interest me, but I did my research many moons ago. She tried to tell me about this new idea of insurance, not your grandparents' insurance. And I played dumb. I was a little coy, and she was like, no, we need to set up the appointment. No, I'm not setting up any appointment with you to waste 30 minutes on something I already know about. Let's talk about it. And then she's like, yeah, this new insurance product. And I was like, well, it's not really new, is it? Because insurance has been around for hundreds of years. I know this already. Then she's like, yeah, but then, you may be able to borrow against it and not pay taxes. I was like, I already know the tax implications of said insurance product. Why don't you just come out and tell me what it is? Anyway, long story short, she gets all upset because like I said, I've done my own research on it. I will beat that 4% or 5% that they're guaranteeing in infinite banking. And guess what? In the long run, everyone pays taxes anyway. It doesn't matter to me. I told her what I was invested in and that I'm into Bitcoin and crypto. She let out a hearty laugh and was very condescending towards the end of that conversation. I was like, okay, well, that's on you. All right. So yeah, there you go. People will, especially older people, they still think that this is a Ponzi scheme kind of thing. And she's like, oh, you're young, you have no idea what you're talking about. Well, we'll see in the long run, right? Anyway, I went off on a long tangent just to tell you that I basically told that lady no. And anyway, we're seeing that not only Jim Cramer is looking into Bitcoin, but we're seeing billionaires, investors like Paul Tudor Jones. He's invested about a percent or two of his, not only his asset under management, but also his own money as well into Bitcoin and Bitcoin futures. MicroStrategies. I said this on Monday, on Monday I came out with a video about MicroStrategies and the fact that they already invested some money, or some $250 million in Bitcoin. Well, it turns out that they actually went and bought more Bitcoin. And here it is. They bought more Bitcoin, and now they have over 38,000 Bitcoin as their reserve currency. We're starting to see that the narrative is changing on Bitcoin. And even Tyler Winklevoss, we know that there are Bitcoin bugs, right? As it turns out, Bitcoin is better at being gold than gold. And not just incrementally, but by an order of magnitude, or 10x better. Bitcoin is better at being gold than gold. All right. Cramer says gold is dangerous, wants crypto exposure. My kids, will never understand gold. And the reason they will never understand gold is they think gold is dangerous. It's dangerous because it can be stolen. It's dangerous because they don't want to take it out of the bank. It's dangerous because they may forget where it is. If you're a gold bug and you stash your private gold stashes, yes, right? Some people do that. You may forget where it is. And your kids may not be paying attention when you're telling them where it is. And not only that, guess what? It's dangerous because the government can come and seize it. The government knows that you have gold, and the government can come and seize it. It can be, and it has been done in the past, said that gold was illegal to hold. So guess what? They can come and steal your gold again. Next, talking about MicroStrategies, they invested again into Bitcoin, and their stock price jumped 9%. So there you have it. Okay, and the CEO of MicroStrategies, he is saying that basically we just had an awful realization that we're sitting on top of a $500 million ice cube that's melting. That is the funniest thing ever, right? Because he's talking about the extra cash that they had. It's basically melting away from them because of inflation. This is not a speculation, nor is it a hedge. This was a deliberate corporate strategy to adopt a Bitcoin standard. Boom! There you have it. And let's talk about the fact that the CEO of MicroStrategy in the past was a Bitcoin doubter. This is a tweet from him, right? Michael Saylor. Bitcoin days are numbered. It seems like just a matter of time before it suffers the same fate as online gambling. This was as of December 18th, 2013. It took this man 7 years to change his mind. And they actually say that it takes about 7 to 10 interactions or hearing about Bitcoin before you start changing your mind, before your gears start turning and you start actually doing a deep dive in it. And that's about the same amount of time it took me before I actually started deep dive into Bitcoin. Next, again coming from Decrypt, what is Bitcoin backed by? Here you have it. Bitcoin doesn't need to be backed by anything tangible to be valuable. Like fiat currencies, much of its value derives from consumer confidence. In brief, despite the common misconception that Bitcoin has no value, its market cap of around $190 billion suggests otherwise. Like the US dollar, most other fiat currencies, Bitcoin isn't backed by physical assets in a vault, but instead by its value as a mode of payment. The maths underpinning Bitcoin's blockchain contributes to its desirability in a number of ways. And this article is a nice explanation as to why Bitcoin has value. Gives you a brief history on older heads, all right, older people not believing in Bitcoin. And I hate to pick on people of a certain age because some of my personal training clients that are older do understand Bitcoin because, hey, I have them pay me in Bitcoin. But they understand it and they get it, right? Because they have someone like me to educate them on it. And that's all it is. It takes some people, some educating to understand. We saw that Donald Trump and Warren Buffett both deny Bitcoin and say that it's a Ponzi scheme, has no value. Well, the US dollar has no value. It's just a piece of paper. It's not even really paper, it's actually cotton and linen, but it's a piece of paper with the pictures of old people that's dead printed on it. And what really gives the US dollar its value are people like myself. The military. The United States have the strongest military on the face of the earth, and the United States spend more on its military, okay, than the next 5 or 6 countries combined. That is why the US dollar has value. The fact that the US military is backing that US dollar. This is because of the wealthiest countries followed a monetary system known as the gold standard. So again, it goes into a history about the gold standard and what gold standard was and what money actually is and all that good stuff. So again, come and give this article a good read, and then it goes into why Bitcoin has value, because actually it's being used right now all across the world, and Bitcoin is the 6th largest currency in the world, 6th most valuable currency in the world as of today. Think about that. If Bitcoin had zero value, then it wouldn't be the 6th largest currency in the world. Okay. Next, huge news again for one of my bags. Okay. Tezos becomes a favorite to power the digital euro. Or the Tezos blockchain, or Tezos, has been selected for the French central bank's digital euro trials. The trials will focus on a central bank digital currency for interbank settlements. France is determined to be the first country to develop a CBDC in the Eurozone. And we already know that China already developed their CBDC, so they won't be the first country. And so they're talking about in the Eurozone, France want to be the first to develop their CBDC, and they tagged Tezos as that public blockchain to use. That's why I am shocked right now that Tezos is actually down. Let me hit a quick refresh and see what's up with Tezos. Almost, oh, it's up. No. Yeah, it's still down over the past 24 hours. And yes, I am shocked that Tezos is currently trading down. But you know what? That means that I'll be able to stack my bag some more. I'm not complaining. Okay. But yeah, again, great news, great adoption. If you don't own any Tezos, not financial advice, I definitely suggest that you take a look into it. And their consensus consensus mechanism is a proof of stake consensus where you're able to earn or bake more Tezos by owning Tezos, just even by owning one. Okay, so you'll get up to a 5 or 6% return on your Tezos on a yearly basis. You're not getting that in any bank. Okay, banks are dead. That's all I have to say. Smash that like, hit that subscribe button, notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. It's Sergeant Crypto, and I'm out. Peace.